people in here. They've been inside from the start. They haven't had to survive. They just don't get it. They can't.
The very thing that makes you different is what makes you special.
Now I'm all warm and fuzzy inside.
I'm not a bad guy. A little hard scrabble, sure, but I'm on the side of the angels, mate. At least when they're not busy trying to screw me over.
Good Lord, did I miss that theme?
Me too. Did you catch it in this week's Arrow when it played for a
Yes,
second?
I absolutely adored Blake Neely for incorporating the music from Bear McCreary
Yeah.
into, like, really subtly.
Yeah, just a little snippet of it.
Little touches.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I love it. Hello, everybody, and welcome not to Dangerous Habits, the Constantine podcast.
No,
No, welcome to the Fandom Zone podcast.
that's right.
But we've got a little special Constantine theme going this week. Can't imagine why.
I can.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we're just, reminiscing, going down memory lane.
I would ask you, have we passed our 1-year anniversary? Check.
As well, we've passed the Dangerous Habits 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
But we haven't passed our Fandom Zone podcast 1-year anniversary.
Okay.
That's coming up.
Okay.
So I'll let you know.
All right, let's do.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to do something for that.
We do. And our 100th episode, but that'll be in a while.
Right. Now, do we count the Dangerous Habits?
I don't know.
Plus this? Yeah, it's...
We'll have to find out.
We'll have to open up to you guys if you want us to count those or not. But
yeah.
But anyway, the Fandom Zone. Yes, we've got a lot to talk about. I'm Charles. She's Karen. You know the deal.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah.
Episode 32 for the week ending November 7th.
Episode 32. We're getting up there.
We are.
All right. So this week we've got The Walking Dead, Gotham, The Flash, iZombie, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, Supergirl, and Arrow.
That's right. That weird show.
So yeah, that weird.
No, but Supergirl's on Monday. So.
But we're really wanting to talk about Arrow this week.
Yes, really Arrow. Yes.
But
and The Walking Dead.
And The Walking Dead. Yeah, we have a little bit of a conflict.
Yeah, there's going to be some fisticuffs over The Walking Dead, I think.
We're throwing down.
That's right.
Gloves are off.
We are throwing down. And it might not be the way you think.
In the steel cage.
That's right. Literally.
The brawl to settle it all.
There was a steel cage.
The barrage in the garage.
You got another rhyme?
Not at the moment.
Okay, good.
I nicked that last one from Moonlighting, but...
Did you? Oh, from Moonlighting.
Yeah, that's
the barrage in the garage.
Yep.
That sounds like something that Dave would say.
David Addison, yeah. Okay. So do you want to throw down first, or you want to save that bad boy?
Whichever you want to do it. You're on the bus driver today.
All right, we've hyped it. We might as well just dive in.
Okay. So The Walking Dead, Here's Not Here.
Here's Not Here. Written by Scott M. Gimple, showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Stephen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And, all right, so to set this up, the week before we had the massive Glenn cliffhanger.
Correct.
Leaving the internets all abuzz, and half of them freaking out, half of them going, no, he's alive. But there was much drama involved.
Correct.
Surprises the internet. There's drama. And
surprise The Walking Dead. Someone might be dead or they might not be dead. Who knows? Yeah.
Exactly. So anticipation off the scale for this week's episode.
Sure.
So with that in mind, then we're supposed to get, we know we're getting a 90-minute episode. And like, oh, it's going to be big. This is going to be huge. And it turns out to be a 90-minute how Morgan learned to use his bow staff. bum, 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 bum.
Come on, dude. I'm not going to play the sound effect because I loved this episode
She did.
so hard. This
Yeah.
was the best episode ever.
And
You cannot dampen my enthusiasm for this episode.
I won't try to dampen it.
Okay.
But I'm just playing the other side.
No, I know. And
Because
here's why I loved
this
it.
one did split people's reactions.
I know it did.
It's a very controversial episode.
Here's why I loved it. The Walking Dead, to me, is a complete character study.
Mm-hmm.
This was the ultimate character study.
Right.
This episode.
I have no problem with that.
Okay. And it was a 2-man show.
Mm-hmm.
It only featured one regular character.
Right.
And it's a character that was enigmatic.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't seen any of his backstory.
Okay.
This was his backstory.
At least not since Clear.
Correct.
Okay.
And this was the story that we have been wanting to see.
Mm-hmm.
That story between when we saw him agonizing over his wife to Terminus.
Okay.
Between that period. And we had no idea what happened there. So it was something I had wanted to see.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then to have an actor like John Carroll Lynch
Right.
to come in.
Also known as Twisty from American Horror Story. And who recently played John Wayne Gacy. So nice clown reset there, American Horror Story.
Yeah, okay.
So,
but he's been in everything. I mean, he's been.
I know. But that's where I know him from recently.
Well, one of the things I recognize him from, and this is going to be weird, but he played Drew Carey's brother on the Drew Carey Show.
Right.
His gay brother, by the way.
Okay.
No
judgments on that. So.
No, it's just a weird segue from him to go from that to this. And him having to, I had this utmost respect for him, having to shoulder the whole burden of this show.
Mm-hmm.
He had to carry this show. And as amazing as Lenny James is as an actor,
right?
He didn't carry this episode. I mean, he had a lot to do, but it was really mostly John Carroll Lynch talking. And it was heartbreaking to watch his world being turned upside down by this man who came into his life and yanked all these feelings and emotions out of him and then ended up being his demise.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's how, really just it twisted up my insides to watch the whole thing. And he didn't really get to see the man that Morgan became in the end.
Right.
He didn't get to see this change that he affected in Morgan. And so it just really, I don't know, it was so profound to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I get that we don't get to see what happened to Glenn right away.
Right.
But come on, we can wait a week if we get this palate cleanser in between. This was so crazy good.
And you don't think it was stringing anybody along?
No.
By placing this episode here instead of, say, episode 5?
No, I don't think so.
See, I think so. Because here's my take on this. Okay. We had 3 episodes. Bam, bam, bam. All of them huge, like, I can't believe what I just watched episodes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The third one ending with this huge cliffhanger.
Right.
People saying, if Glenn's dead, then I'm leaving the show or I'm done. So
do you really think they're leaving?
No, they're not. I know.
Of course.
I know that. But that's just But so there's all this anticipation. Okay. Now, but then to insert this episode where it is, it kind of brings the whole momentum of the season to a screeching halt because it's a completely different type of story. So it's very jarring and it's very slow paced to the point where, this was a 90-minute episode that could have easily been edited down to just an hour. And I think it wouldn't have suffered. I thought the pacing was so drawn out in this. You're waiting for things to happen. I don't care, that, okay.
I so disagree.
Eastman is like trying to make goat cheese and he's struggling with this big drama of the goat cheese.
Oh my God.
and Morgan's in the cage, he's out of the cage, he's going through all this.
There's
Now
so many allegories for
I
these
know
things.
that.
So
I know that. But this was not, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion.
no, I know it's your opinion, and I
But
completely
I don't
respect your opinion.
but I don't think this was the place at this stage of the game. It should have been, if you're going to do this episode, great, but the timing was horrible
All right.
as
I
far as
respect your opinion.
placement in the season. I don't
Yeah.
think the episode itself was bad. I thought, I mean, it's a well done production. You've got two great actors playing off each other, but
Yeah.
again, it's just two actors playing off each other for 90 minutes, and that gets a little boring, especially when you
say.
oh, okay, in my opinion.
Yes, in your opinion.
Okay. Yeah, they tried to liven it up. You had walkers and then poor Tabitha, the goat.
I know. Tabitha was awesome, right?
Animals do not fare well on the walk.
No, they don't. They don't.
I mean, especially ones where you name them and you get kind of attached to them over the course of the episode, and then, oh, we're going to horribly kill Tabitha, and
Yeah.
so that's not good. But what you have, I mean, it was this episode thematically being with emphasis on Buddhism and pacifism is in direct contrast. Now, I get where it developed Morgan's character,
Right.
but again, it's a completely different tone compared to what we got these first 3 episodes this season.
Right.
So
And
my thinking is that if you had episode 4, you resolve Glenn's cliffhanger somehow, or you add a little bit more threat in a different way, like maybe you focus on the wolves or something, and then go into this episode. But it was such an abrupt shift in tone that's what bugged me most about this episode.
Okay. I get where you're coming from.
That's where I'm coming from.
See, and I think there's a point to this. I think there is a direct correlation to the all life is sacred thing.
Right.
And jarring you from Glenn's death.
Right.
Whether it is or not. And talking to the wolf. At the bookends of this episode.
Okay. Now, speaking of that's kind of makes me think of something else. I think the episode would have worked better if you had Morgan shifting back and forth from the flashbacks with Eastman to the present day with the wolf. Like he's having a running conversation throughout the entire episode.
So he was, but they just never flash back.
Right, exactly. It was basically all this was okay, here's Morgan's story, and by the end, there's this revelation that he's telling the story to the captured wolf guy.
Right.
And so then it has relevance.
Right.
But only at the end of the episode.
Right. And at the beginning.
And you get but still, it's not a lot of, we're focusing so heavily on the present day. And then we get an entire flashback episode.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from with this.
I'm just telling you that I was so excited about this episode that I made our notes document as soon as it was over. I was so excited about it.
She did. I mean, and I respect that totally. When I saw that score, I'm not going to spoil the score, but
no.
It's pretty
well,
obvious.
We're going to give it out in a minute.
Yeah. But when I saw that score, I'm like, really?
Oh, yeah.
And I go to Lori, I go, did we watch the same episode here?
No, this is my kind of episode. And yeah, I like the other ones too. I mean, don't get me wrong. You and I were copacetic on the other ones too.
Right.
But this is fascinating to me to watch these two men who are so different with one man teaching the other man how to come to peace with all this stuff. And he's also, Eastman is also resolving issues within himself. He hasn't quite settled on what he has done either.
Right.
That he watched that man starve to death in the cell. He's, when Morgan asks him, did you watch him die? And he says, I think all life is precious. He doesn't say yes. He says, I think all life is precious. And he says, did you do it? I think all life is precious.
Yeah. He can't just admit that, he killed
Well, he doesn't want to lie, but he also doesn't want to.
The guy killed his family. You would think, he'd want to.
Right. I would have had no problem killing the guy, and justifiably so. I think, honestly, I would have cackled while I watched him do it. And it was just the gracefulness of the episode. And then, I watched The Talking Dead afterwards
Right.
as well. And
As do I.
okay, so also I gained this respect as well, since he had no idea how to do a keto beforehand, and he had 3 days to learn it. He
Crash
said,
course.
right,
Wikipedia, don't fail me now.
right, and he had to learn all these lines, and it was 120 degrees.
Yeah, in Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, so I really had a high respect for what they had to go through just to do this episode, and I just thought it was an amazing character study, and I thought it was so heavy in its quietness, and I know that was what you hated about
Yes,
it,
it was.
but I loved it.
But that's okay. So
Yeah.
it's okay to disagree.
And I love you put ratings conflict, and then I put an arrow and I said you were just wrong here.
That's cold. You shot me down. Oh.
No, but you're not. I mean, if that's your rating, then that's your rating. I
Well,
mean,
the only other
I get it.
the only other thing that concerns me, and then I'll shut up about this.
No, you don't have to shut up
I
about it.
promise. The only other thing concerns me is that I'm worried that this whole revelation of what happened to Glenn is going to get dragged out like Sophia in season 2. All over again. We're not going to find out until the mid-season finale, and then we'll see either Glenn's alive, or Glenn's a zombie, or Glenn's dead.
Okay.
And I'm really worried that now, because I'm worried that, okay, we'll tune in to, on Sunday, and there's still no resolution to Glenn. I'm like, oh no. And the natives will get even more
Yeah,
restless.
well, I won't be happy if and we're recording before on the day it airs.
Exactly. Yeah, it's in 2.5 hours from now as we record this. If I don't get Snow Glenn update
tonight,
there's going to be hell pay. So yeah.
Yeah, I won't be happy if that's the case.
I don't want Sophia 2 all over again.
However, I have I saw some indications that we are going to get at least some resolution on that front tonight.
That's fine.
I don't know if it's complete resolution because it is The Walking Dead, but there is going to be some resolution.
We kind of know what happens to Rick because we hear him in the trailer.
Right.
And we hear him at the end of this episode here.
Right. Open up the gates.
It's Rick.
Right. Exactly.
Carl.
But I really love this episode. Yeah. So I give it a 10 frame.
I respect your opinion.
Yeah. A 10 frame drywall picture.
Don't kill me. No.
Yeah, no, I know. That picture on the drywall picture really made me cry big time. So what did you give it?
Softy.
I know.
I gave this one, and this is where the discrepancy happens.
Yeah.
6 out of 10 dead goats.
Yeah, and you gave it the worst thing ever too. I gave it the sentimental thing that made me all teary, and you gave it dead goats.
Maybe I'm just mad because they killed the goat. Yeah, I'm just a little upset about the Tabitha. I'm upset that they killed Tabitha. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not happy they killed Tabitha.
Lori, being animal lover, was not happy they killed Tabitha.
You know why they did though? It meant that he couldn't take care of himself, and he was dying.
Well, and otherwise, Morgan would be stuck with a goat. So yeah, we had to get rid of the goat. I get that.
Right. And also, they pointed out on Talking Dead, and I know that they refuted this, but there's no way that his name was Eastman, and he's wearing a turtle shirt. There's turtle prints in his house, and he's doing a bow staff. Come on, that's not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing. Someone had
Gimples, or maybe the director or something. I don't know, but
someone put that.
Yeah, that's deliberate. It's too many things to be coincidental.
There's turtle prints up on his wall.
See, we have something to agree on here.
Okay, good.
All right.
Although
the meeting
I don't
of the
care if we don't agree. Really,
I'm cool.
Yeah, I think we're good. I just like the quietness, and you didn't, so we're good.
Okay, just
good.
No Sophia.
No, I agree with you there.
Please.
I do agree. Right. I think it needs to get resolved.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. On to something we're more in sync with.
Mm-hmm.
Gotham. Episode 7 of the second season, Mommy's Little Monster.
Yeah.
Written by Robert Hull, directed by Kenneth Fink. And this was
Talk about craziness.
This was a pretty interesting episode to me.
Yeah.
Lots going on. Lots of character development.
Yeah. Some stuff I wasn't expecting to happen actually happened.
So I take it you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Well, number one,
Yeah.
Enigma.
Oh,
Period.
yes.
That was amazing.
Corey Michael Smith, I believe his name is.
Yes.
Yeah. Stellar job as Edward Nygma, playing these dual personalities fighting for control,
Mm-hmm.
and only to ultimately merge
Mm-hmm.
into
And that merging
what we
thing.
can only assume is the Riddler persona
Right.
that he's going to go forward with.
The blurry picture.
Yes.
And oh, that was crazy good. I loved that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he fell asleep,
Mhm.
but in this fugue state,
Right.
his other personality woke up and wrote himself a riddle
Mhm.
on where to find Kristen Kringle's dead body.
Yeah, I noticed that that sometimes happens with dissociative identity disorder,
Sure.
as they're calling it these days in fashion.
Right.
Before they call
Schizophrenia.
Before they call it something else. Yeah,
Right,
exactly. But
right.
that's what they're calling it, dissociative identity
Right.
disorder.
And I love that he did the look for the KK in
Mhm.
the, and then her hand was behind lady fingers.
Right.
Brilliant.
The vending machine. I should have made this my selection for the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he's Nygma is frantically trying to, push the button on that vending machine, waiting for stuff to come down and see what's back there.
Yeah, and there it is. Her lady fingers are behind all the other ladies. Oh, it was so brilliant. I loved it. I loved it.
I want to know how his split personality got that vending machine out of there, opened it up, put the hand inside without nobody in a police station watching.
Yeah.
Cameras. Are there security? Are there hand wave? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it?
Get it?
Hand wave? Yep. I see what you did there.
Thank you.
All right. Butch has some interesting developments this week.
Right?
Yeah, because now that he's apparently free of the mind control that he has to obey everything Penguin says, he's having fun and really enjoying himself.
Sort of.
Screwing over the Penguin.
Yeah.
Big time.
Right.
So yeah.
Until.
Well, because we start off the bat, okay, where he leads Penguin to where his mom's located, finally.
Right. And I was actually a little surprised that it was really where his mother was located until it actually played out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, oh, well, that's about as bad as it can be. So,
right.
Yeah.
And of course, Theo and Tabitha are there waiting for him.
Right.
And then that's where it all goes south because Theo ends up killing Gertrude.
Right. Penguin. Well, Tabitha does, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but on Theo's orders.
On Theo's orders, yes.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he calls the shots. She does the heavy lifting.
Right.
Tabitha does. So,
yeah.
And not Tabitha the goat. Let's just keep that straight.
No, different Tabitha in this one, yeah.
Because that would have been funny, but no.
I did a knife thing just so you guys.
So yeah, we had that. So sadly, I guess this is the last we get of Carol Kane as Gertrude Cobblepot.
Makes me sad.
But
I'll miss her.
But they got to push Penguin forward, so I get it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And maybe she's not all dead. She's mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
Which is somewhat alive.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Could not resist the Princess Bride reset. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think it'll work?
The chocolate coating makes it go down easier. I'm sorry. All right.
Those are her
respect to Carol Kane.
Mm-hmm.
There was a nice little lunch party at Wayne Manor, or tea, like sandwiches and tea, I guess.
Was that at Wayne Manor or was that at Theo's place?
No, this was at Wayne Manor because Alfred was serving.
Oh, okay. Right.
Right, because what we have here is
Yeah.
okay,
No, you're right.
because Selena shows up at Wayne Manor and Silver's there.
Right.
Silver St.
Okay,
Cloud.
now
Yeah.
I was so completely taken in by her. I had no idea.
She does a complete flip, and then this is Natalie Allen Lind who plays Silver St. Cloud. 180 of a character in this episode.
Right?
Out of nowhere, she's all psycho right off the
I
bat.
had no idea. So this puts a different spin on her character
Right.
from the very beginning.
I was thinking, okay, maybe she's just an innocent, and Theo is just working her to get what he wants with Bruce.
Right.
But no, she's in on the whole thing.
I know, right?
Willingly. Like,
I was completely surprised by that.
maybe it's because in the comics, Silver St. Cloud is actually
She's a good character.
You know, she's
never been manipulative.
Bruce's girlfriend there for a while, helps him take down Boss Thorne in the comics,
Right.
Rupert Thorne. So did not see this one coming. So
No, me
another nice twist to Gotham on that.
Yeah. I honestly, I was completely slapped in the face by this one.
As soon as Selena shows up at Wayne Manor, the claws are out, and not just from Catgirl here. We've got pretty much. Thank you.
I have to say, I thought that watching Alfred bring the tea and then seeing Silver try and bluff her way through, what the tea tasted like and all that, and seeing Alfred brush her off, and then she went, "Oh, he's the help." She rolled her eyes.
Right.
And
how hilarious was Selena's dig on Alfred when she goes,
"Oh, it's like a slap in the face."
Yeah, that smell is just like a smack in the face.
Yeah, it was great.
Like, oh, snap.
Yeah. Yep. Burn.
But not that he didn't have it coming.
Yep. That's a child abuse burn on you, Alfred. It was. So, it was good. He did deserve that.
Yeah. But
and Bruce, come on, listen to Selena. When has she ever lied to you about anything like that?
Well, if Batman has a weakness, it's always been women.
Yes, that's true.
And like from Talia to Selena, and here in Gotham, it's Silver St. Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's his weakness, is the women's.
Right. Even Barbara, and not Barbara in a girlfriendy way, but in a I need to protect you way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, as a result, yes.
And Robin.
Bruce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey now. Easy now. We don't want.
There was a girl, Robin.
Yeah, but that's even creepier because she's underage. Spoiler, was underage.
Okay,
so
but protective.
It's dangerous ground there.
I'm just kidding. I meant the other Robins.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. Easy there. All right. So, yeah, we've got this. There was a, while we're on the subject of Silver, that bit at the end of the episode where Silver is kissing Bruce.
And Selena's watching.
And Selena's watching, and then Silver spots her watching out the windows, like winks at her or whatever. It goes, "Oh yeah," waves to her. So I forget what she does. Smiles at her, probably.
Yeah.
And it's like, "I got your boyfriend." It's kind of high school, but
Yeah, it is very high school.
But still.
Yeah. I know, it's rude. And
this is this is after Bruce kicks Selena out, for trying to call Silver on her manipulations.
Right.
So.
And it's real.
Right.
What she's calling Silver on. So Selena this season is completely getting crushed, right and left. Her best friend is, got killed, or so she thinks. Bruce and Alfred have both just crushed her under their heels.
She has no one to lean on because Fish is gone.
Right. Penguin's using her, but right now he's indisposed, so she feels useless.
Yep.
Yeah, she's all alone. So it's bad.
We'll see where that goes.
Yeah. And hopefully at some point she's going to be vindicated.
So let's see. What else did I forget anything as far as, or is that pretty much it?
Well,
I'm gonna.
I forgot to mention
Oh,
this.
there was. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead first, and then I'll follow.
Well, this is a little thing, but
Yeah.
the key at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
When Leslie comes and she brings
Gordon.
James her key.
Yes, the apartment. Key to the apartment, and he's like,
and Bullock goes, "I gotta go."
that look of panic in Gordon's
Right.
eyes.
And he says, "Do you want my key?" Not even a little bit.
Mhm.
I like that little beat where she's like, "I just don't want to get up at 3:00 in the morning to let you in."
Right. That's good.
She's so great. I like her in this.
That was good.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, what I just want to talk about. Tabitha, when she takes out another member of the strike force. So the strike force is dropping like flies here. And,
right. This is, I think, Martinez.
yeah. So is this like the second or the third?
Second.
Second member.
So
of the
there's
strike.
2 left.
2 left. Okay.
Mhm.
For those of you keeping score, because yeah, there are probably 2 more to go.
They're probably wearing red shirts underneath those.
What I liked about this, she kills him with a stiletto to the neck.
I know, right? Ouch.
And this is the 8:00 hour.
Mm-hmm.
So here's some family viewing. A stiletto to the neck. I didn't have a problem with it.
No.
But I just
I don't have any kids, so I have no perspective on this whatsoever.
I just thought it was funny.
I probably would have let my kids watch it. It's not real.
Right. So, okay. Well, and then, yeah, we talked about Enigma because that was just fantastic.
Yeah. Oh man, his storyline was amazing.
Oh, and we had Gordon calling out Theo at the end for.
Okay, here's what I liked about that. Yeah. He figured it out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
He put the pieces together. One of the things I was speculating on is who he was going to hear it from and whether he was going to believe it or not.
Right.
And neither of those things happened. He put the pieces together on his own. And so my thinking is that, well, number one, he is already on board with the let's take Theo down thing. And he's going to look like an idiot because he backed him for mayor, but
right.
Big deal.
He's willing to, just deal with that.
Right. So he's probably going to work with the mayor and with the Penguin. And of course, now he knows that, what's his name? Butch?
Yeah.
That Butch also was telling the truth. And wasn't that hilarious when he handcuffs Butch to the...
Right, and then he leaves the fake hand in the handcuffs. That was great.
Right, and Bullock goes, well, that's a new one.
Wait, you didn't see that coming?
As soon as he handcuffed him, I'm like, oh, you're so cute.
Yes. That's adorable.
So, right. So they're going to have to all work together to take him down.
Right.
So this is going to be another one of his gray area things where he's going to have to work with the lesser of the 2 evils to take down the bad guy. And it's funny how now Bruce, being a good guy, with laser beams, right,
a good guy,
is in with the big bad. And right now he's entrenched. He's being told that they're not on the up and up, but he's like, no, I'm okay. They're good guys. I'm all right. Silver's great. I like her.
It's really the only play Gordon has is to ally himself with the Penguin.
Right.
Because
it is.
Because everybody else is in Theo's pocket, apparently.
Right.
And we still, probably the new captain is as well, but we haven't gotten that revelation yet.
No, but the captain is definitely not going to buy into the fact that Theo's a bad guy.
Right, because probably Theo's sicking him after Penguin.
Right, and he's bought all into that.
Right.
Big time. So I still am not sure. I think that the captain is a good guy. I just think he's by the book. And right now, Theo's law-abiding, Penguin's not.
Okay.
In his head. Now, I don't know. He could actually turn out to be in Theo's pocket because it just so happens he turned up at the same time.
I think he is in Theo's pocket. I think that's why he was stacking the deck with the strike force recruits right out of the academy. So
a little green.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I'm just thinking that it's like, okay, I'm bringing in these hand-picked guys for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I could just get anybody, but I want these specific people for a reason.
Okay.
Probably
It's a good theory.
that's what I'm thinking. So we'll
Okay.
see. We'll see if I'm right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you might be. Yeah.
So what's your rating on this one?
My rating is 8 purple envelopes, and it's very close to yours.
Yes. Yeah, I
But I wanted
I give this one 8.5 out of 10 question mark clues. So we're kind of pretty much the same thing there.
Yeah. So your question mark clue was on the outside of my
Yes,
purple envelope.
Exactly. So that's how we
Yeah.
differentiate. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Supergirl. Let's talk about Supergirl.
Let's do.
I think this is Stronger Together, story by Greg Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg, teleplay by Kreisberg and Ali Adler.
Yep, the showrunners.
Directed by Glenn Winter again, so which makes me wonder if this was maybe written as a 2-hour pilot that got broken up, perhaps, or.
This is set on a stage.
I'm just wondering why Glenn Winter directs the pilot, then directs the second episode.
Because they picked him to do it, I guess.
Maybe they want.
You could tell there are differences, and it was filmed at a different time.
Okay.
So I don't think it was.
Okay. But yeah, I think this was a much better episode than the pilot.
I agree.
I think it's already they're making adjustments. I think as far as what they want, where they want to take the series, and
I think things are actually going faster here than I thought they would.
Yeah, we're already getting revelations that I didn't think we would get so soon. So we'll get into that.
Everybody knows that everybody else knows already.
Yeah, you've got that was a great little scene. You're right, where Supergirl invites Jimmy and Wynn to the same.
James, don't call me Jimmy.
Right, excuse me. God forbid, Jimmy Olsen. James Olsen.
It's. I say, James, don't call me Jimmy Olsen.
Olsen, James Olsen.
That's right.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
I saw Spectre today. It's in my head. Okay, so yeah, we had those two together. Going, oh, she told you. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. He's like, you can go. I'm meeting someone out here. You might, you should really go back in and check to see if the coffee's made. They're trying to make up excuses to send the other guy back in.
Right.
I thought that was hilarious.
And James should just look at Wynn going, there's no contest here.
Right?
Right? Makad Brooks versus, what's his name? The guy who plays Wynn. I can't remember it. Don't worry about it.
Both of his names start with a J or something.
Jeremy Jordan, I think, was it?
I think so.
I think that's it. But anyway, so yeah, there should be no contest here, really.
Jeremy Jordan.
All right, I was right. Don't ask me how I knew that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have.
And by the way, he confirmed in this episode that he had mad sewing skills.
Oh.
That he wasn't just sitting around; he was actually sewing her suit last episode. So.
All right.
Yeah.
He's a modern male, I guess.
I guess so. Although, for the son of the toy man,
right,
as we learn later on, I'm assuming,
yeah,
he would have sewing skills and tinkering skills and things like that.
Right,
so
exactly.
Not too surprising.
No, not at all.
And he's a stats guy too.
Stats geek, yes. Yep. So he probably plays fantasy football or something.
I'm sure.
All right.
He does. Yeah.
So this episode, we start off with Kara trying really hard to be a hero and kind of failing miserably.
Right.
At it. Like she's jumping right in and doing the big stuff. Not quite.
Into the deep end. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Well.
Yeah, because we've got an incident with there's like this fire at a seaport. She tries to blow out the fire, which is the wrong thing to do unless you're using freeze breath, but she doesn't know about freeze breath yet, I guess.
Right. Maybe she doesn't have it.
Maybe. We don't know.
Well, she would, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She's Kryptonian like Superman, so she's got everything else. Why wouldn't she have the freeze breath? So she probably just doesn't know about it yet. Right. But, so she makes the fire worse. So she has to go get this like oil tanker and push that tanker to safety away so that the fire doesn't get to the oil and go boom.
Except she pulls it, which is
she
incredibly dumb.
She grabs it by the bow. The bow breaks.
Right.
The cradle will fall.
And the cradle falls.
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for that. And then the oil falls into the ocean,
Yep.
and it's
And it's not so good. This time I will. Come on. That one never plays right.
stubborn.
I don't know why. Maybe there's a smudge there
There's
or something.
a fail music fail.
Yeah.
All right.
There.
But so she gets, she's all dejected, goes into the office at, I forget, Catco. And Cat gives her, like, just lays on Supergirl hard, says she's trying too hard. She needs to start small.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of takes that advice to heart.
Yeah. And she also says she wants an interview with her.
Yes.
And
she doesn't want the interview at all, want to give the interview at all.
Yeah, but
right.
Kara cracks up and covers it by saying she was thinking about a cat video that she was watching earlier in the day.
That's funny.
Which makes me giggle every time I think about it. And then she tells James, well, why don't you, use your friendship with the big guy to get an interview with Kara? And I'm thinking, all right, well, not only would he not do that because that would, be wrong.
Right.
Number one. And number two, Superman would never give in to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But also he wouldn't have to use his pole because he knows Supergirl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but,
yeah,
but
I mean, it's a whole...
Cat doesn't know that James knows Supergirl.
I know, but it's a whole myriad.
Yes. It's a comedy of errors.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We got the introduction of Maxwell Lord. Peter Fasinelli.
I know. I love this
or is it
too.
Fasinelli? I don't know, but
I don't know how it.
Let's go with Fasinelli.
He's amazing.
But it's very subtle that he shows up on TV. He's griping about Supergirl. Says they don't want Supergirl in National City.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. But it's introducing the character already.
Yep. And I recommended Invasion. In my comic corner.
Okay.
The 3-part Invasion mini.
Oh, okay.
Because Maxwell Lord is a big part of that.
Right. Okay.
In order to teach people about Maxwell Lord. It was an early appearance of his.
I would recommend recommend Justice League International, the first 12 issues.
Well, yeah, but that's a really like a cartoonish Maxwell Lord. And this was a serious Maxwell Lord, but it was not good or bad. He was just Maxwell Lord.
Okay.
And I don't know which way they're taking him in this. So I kind of wanted people to just learn.
Hopefully not the
super villain.
No, well, yeah, where he shoots and kills
Ted
Beetle.
Kord.
Yeah. We don't want
Let's hope he doesn't do that.
Let's stay away from that, Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
That kind of pissed me off.
But he's already I was very mad about that.
Yeah.
Very
A lot of people were very mad about that.
Very mad.
Yes.
I was hoping that like Rip Hunter would show up or even Booster Gold.
Right.
Who knows how to time travel would go back and save his friend. But anyway, I digress.
Us digress?
It's just our segue that's happening.
Oh, hey, Blaine. Okay. It's been a long time. How you living, man?
How you living? I was... now I've completely gone off topic. And I don't remember. Go ahead.
Let's moving on. We're moving on. Supergirl, yes.
Here. This has something to do with Supergirl.
Okay.
Maxwell has started out being antagonistic towards her.
Right.
Saying that he's going to help pay for the cleanup of the harbor.
Okay.
And how she should really keep her nose out of things and, things like that. So I'm wondering if they're not going to make him kind of bad, kind of a Lex Luthor-y sort of.
Maybe they might go the Luthor route with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's very possible. I didn't consider that, but I think you're right.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think that he will be the surrogate Lex Luthor in this series.
Yeah.
We get
especially when they flaunted his wealth right away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay for the cleanup,
Right.
And then I'm like, ding, 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 yep. Lex Luthor.
Unless he goes the Donald Trump route, but
yeah, and
let's just hope that doesn't happen.
I told them on the other podcast that he's a tech genius like Steve Jobs or something like that. So we have to keep that in mind as well.
Right.
There's possibilities with him showing up with the Toyman, going into partnership with him since we know the Toyman's going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
he's got the backing and the electronic expertise for something like.
That's a good
I mean,
combo.
I don't. Yeah,
Or could be a very dangerous combo.
it could be. I mean, since we know they're both on the show, it's just a speculation on my part, but
That's good.
Okay.
That's a good connecting the dots.
Yeah,
We also got the introduction of the Helgramite,
that's right.
who in this continuity
It's completely different.
is completely different as like this alien that gets really hungry for DDT of all things.
Yep.
So I'm hungry
It's
for
a me-
insect poison, even though I'm an insect character.
It's a mirror to Kryptonians,
Right.
though, who were hurt by
Right.
their planet.
Right.
So,
Okay. I see where you're coming from with that.
mhm.
So we got that. The Helgramite turns out is just basically working for Astra, evil
Mhm.
Aunt Astra,
That's right.
and so which
General Zod.
like
I mean,
yeah, well,
Astra.
exactly, or the Supergirl version of General Zod.
Yes.
Yeah, so we get
Not that I'm complaining. I like her.
Supergirl's stepsister, foster sister, Alex gets kidnapped, brought to Astra. That's basically a trap. It's like, you expect Admiral Akbar to come out of the side going, "It's a trap!
It's a trap.
It's a trap!"
That's right.
So
It's a trap.
Supergirl shows up, and there's a really cool throwdown between Supergirl and Astra.
Yes.
And Supergirl's like, "And Astra, you're alive!" Thwack, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
although they need to polish up their CGI skills a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
The flying through the air was cool, but it did look like they were on wires. So
that was kind of the part where they're kind of hanging there.
Yeah.
Ready, like having their little mid-air stare down or whatever, and then
Right.
that looked a little like Peter Pan-ish to me.
Right. Polish it up just a hair, guys.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, we expect a little bit more. Just fight on platforms against the green screen, or
maybe talk to the Flash special effects team, see what they're doing, because that's what you should be doing.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. Or just, don't fly in the air and fight each other.
Or don't have a conversation in midair.
Right.
Land somewhere so it doesn't look as cheesy.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you can really pull it off and make it look good. Otherwise, stay away from it. So apparently they kill off the Helgramite in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he's part of an alien race, so they could just bring another one.
He is part of an alien race, so they might
bring another one back. But they kill him off.
But that is not the case in the comic books. He's just a guy that was like like Spider-Man.
Yeah, he gets infected with something and then becomes this bug-like creature. And
right.
Yeah. Astra gets stabbed with a kryptonite blade because Hank Haywood shows up and easy now. That he stabs her real good, and
and she is not happy.
No, she's not happy about that. She's like, "Hey, we were gonna do this alien invasion thing, but they have kryptonite, and kryptonite hurts really bad."
Yeah. However, I think people left this episode feeling like the good guys were triumphant, and I think it was exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
The bad guys have the kryptonite now, so they know what they're up against.
Right, they can study it.
Correct. The bad guys, now Hank has glowy eyes.
Yeah, we have that was another revelation we get. Where Hank does the it's sort of like the Terminator version, or the Terminator version of Michael Jackson at the end of the Thriller video, where he's like looking at us going,
Now, he mentions in this episode, because he's talking to Kara, and Kara says, do you have any family? And he says, I used to.
Right.
So the accident has already happened, and he hates aliens.
Right.
So I'm thinking he's already the Man of Tomorrow.
You mean the cyborg Superman?
Correct.
Yeah, because...
But he's not the cyborg Superman, because...
Well,
cyborgs...
Maybe he is, and maybe that's a whole skin facade.
That's what I'm saying.
Over him.
But he was also called the Man of Tomorrow. But I'm saying he wouldn't be the cyborg Superman, because that happened because Superman wasn't around.
Right.
He would be called by his alternate name.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see what they call him, but.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
I would think they would call him.
It's semantics.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the cyborg Superman.
Maybe they'll just call him the cyborg. but then
But
that
they can't call him the
this is because
cyborg.
Cyborg's in Justice League. Yeah, I know.
Right.
But yes. So we'll
So I was just thinking they'd call him the Man of Tomorrow because Cyborg Superman wouldn't work
we'll find out. Maybe they'll
for for reasons.
Cyborg Supergirl. Hey, no.
Somehow I don't think that would happen.
How awesome would that be?
Well, I think he's already that.
Yes.
So the whole thing of me doing all that
Because that kind of had to
talking-
be like Terminator eyes going.
right. So you listened to the introductory Supergirl podcast I did, and I
Yes.
talked a lot about that.
Right.
And I was thinking, ha ha, ha, vindication. I was right. A lot of people are hoping that he's Martian Manhunter, though, and I just don't see it.
No.
Because he wouldn't hate aliens.
No, he wouldn't.
Being a Martian.
No. No.
So, I mean, it would be cool to get Martian Manhunter, but I don't think he is Martian Manhunter.
And David Harewood tends to play a-holes.
Yeah, bad guys.
He was an a-hole on Doctor Who. He was an a-hole on Homeland.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably an a-hole here.
Yes.
Odds
I
are.
agree.
We'll
agree.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The cool thing that happens with Supergirl here in this episode is that she gets her own little like personal Jor-El-ish hologram.
That's right.
Of her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So
she gets her own little fortress of solitude.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's in the DEO.
Yeah.
So it's not really that private, but she has a room that only she can access.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to her sister.
Now, is that going to come into play?
Hank Haywood helped her build that room. So
I know,
presumably Haywood built a back door in so he can get in there.
That's my thought.
Right? Because
does he have access?
evil. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because yes.
Because evil.
That's right.
Evil. But
$1 billion.
Yes. So, but yeah, she gets to consult Allura, the hologram of Allura, for advice, whatever, cooking tips,
which is cool.
Whatever.
Hey, Mom.
Yep.
And she asks for a hug, but her mom can't give her a hug.
Mom, my boss is mean to me at work.
Yeah. And she does these little, the thing that I thought was cute was the montage of her doing the little odd jobby sort of saves.
Right.
Trying to work her way up.
Yeah, that was good. Where she's like, she's helping like, people or what robbery. She stops a robbery and she, like really small petty stuff.
Right.
And then
I'm deliberately leaving one out.
Yeah, yeah. One of those that ends up being in my rating.
Right.
And I thought it was a pretty good rating for me on this one.
Yes, it is.
So I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, so that was a good little montage. It's almost like, her training montage.
Right.
Gotta have a montage. Sorry, that's from Team America. But anyway.
You're the best around.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's gonna ever get you down.
Only this one was hit me with your best shot, right?
It was
Pat Benatar. So
it was.
Yeah. So hitting that young demographic with Pat Benatar. So, but that's okay because Pat Benatar's cool. I have no problem. So maybe we'll get some Joan Jett in the process. And then they end the episode with. Thank you.
Why don't you hit me with your best shot?
All right. So yeah.
It was our outro this week.
Oh, so you had it handy. That's cool.
I did.
Good for you. So last thing we have is Kat calls James to complain that she still hasn't gotten her interview with Supergirl. Supergirl ends up picking Kat up literally in her car, takes her to like a remote area where they can have a little girl chat.
That's right. Now, do you agree with me that that was kind of a nod to the first Action Comics where she picks up the car?
Could be. I didn't really think about it that way, but it could be.
It kind of
they didn't do it shot for shot, but
no, but just her picking up the car
could have been. But
they've been doing things like that on that show.
Real subtle, little tributes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Okay.
Lots of them actually.
All right. So what did you give this episode?
I gave it 9 condescending hashtags. # terrible girl.
Yes.
which I thought was very mean.
Yeah, it's mean. It's total Mean Girl
It
of
is.
Cat, but yeah.
Yes.
I was a little. I didn't give it as strong an episode, but I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I liked the pilot. So I give this one 8 out of 10. Mother effing snakes on in a mother effing tree.
That's right.
I had to be very
Named-
careful. I had to be very careful of how I said that.
Named Fluffy.
Yes, but
And
you had snakes in a tree, so I'm like, you got to do mother effing snakes in
Yeah.
a mother effing tree.
yes. In Warcraft,
Yeah.
there is a series of quests that you do for this guy named Hemet Nessingwary.
Okay, that's easy for
Yeah.
you to say.
Well, it's anyway,
Stop.
he's a guy and you go hunting
Okay.
for like pelts and stuff and you turn it in. Well, there's this one place and his plane has crashed and there's an engineer working on the plane
Mhm.
and you go look at the plane and there's all these snakes
Oh.
all swarming around. No, the snakes aren't bad. They're
Yeah.
they're all neutral,
Okay.
so you can kill them if you want, but they're all like
Snakes. Why
level
did it have to
one.
be snakes?
Yes, and he says that as you're like
Right.
walking around. It's like flavor text as
funny.
you're. Yeah, it
That's
is
funny.
funny. I have some trivia real quick.
Okay, real quick.
Al Plastino, co-creator of Supergirl with Otto Binder, gets a nod here in the form of a giant sign for a chemical company.
Oh, I did not catch that.
The pizza joint is at 5th and Siegel.
Mhm.
Siegel being one of the creators of Superman.
Jerry Siegel. Yep.
Yep. Ambulance on Donner Avenue. Richard Donner was the director of Superman the movie.
Right.
Helgramite originally had his origin not unlike Spider-Man, an entomologist named Roder Gross, who exposed himself to radiation and became a grasshopper-like creature. He first appeared in Brave and the Bold 80 and was mainly a Batman villain. He moved to Metropolis later on and became a JLA supervillain.
Yep.
Another reference to 52 in this episode, which will probably become the "Hey, look, another mention of 52" number. A breach in Sector
52. Take a drink.
A breach in Sector 52 at the Plastino chemical plant.
Right.
Who's that anchor on the television? Perd Hapley. Oh, Perd, how I miss you. By the way, he was an actual Emmy-winning reporter in LA for 22 years until he became a fake one on Parks and Recreation and several other shows.
Nice.
He was Perd Hapley because he was Perd Hapley. That's how he used to say things on
Oh,
Parks.
that's his catchphrase.
Yeah, no, he used to say things like, I don't know if this is a joke or not, but I can tell it might be because of the way you are saying it. He always said things like that. And one of here, let me find the Perd Hapley catchphrase. I have one here. Come on, Supergirl. Here's
I'm Perd Hapley, and I just realized I'm not holding my microphone.
He was always like hapless, always doing things like that.
That's funny.
So he was actually standing there like this without a microphone in his hand. So,
And then,
but yeah,
and then his off hours, he's on Archer.
Is he?
That's the same actor.
Is it really?
Chris Parnell.
No, not Chris Parnell.
That sounds like Chris Parnell.
No, his name is Jeffrey something.
Okay, sounded like Chris Parnell.
Yeah, it sounds like Chris Parnell,
Okay,
but it's not.
All right. Moving on. The Flash.
He looks nothing like Chris Parnell.
Okay.
He's a big black guy.
Okay. Well,
he's gonna have a recurring role on Supergirl.
maybe they're brothers. I don't know. I'm just winging it. Okay, The Flash. The Darkness and the Light.
That's right.
Written by Ben Sokolowski and Granny Godfrey, who always reminds me of Granny Goodness. I'm sorry, but that's what.
Yeah.
Directed by Steve Schill.
Okay.
And this one we get background. We get really the full introduction of the Earth 2 Harrison Wells in this episode.
Mm-hmm. And it is
the
Earth 2 Harrison Wells.
Yeah, because apparently this episode opens up on Earth 2 8 months ago, which apparently was before the wormhole happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there was an Earth 2 Harrison Wells, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a dick.
Yeah.
Basically, he's a dick. Wells holds this press conference, roll out this series of apps because, hey, everybody's into the apps these days.
Yep.
To detect metahumans.
And he's got a stupid Apple Watch thing.
Yeah. The Wells Watch or whatever, I don't know. Or Star Watch, probably Star Watch because it's Star Labs, right?
Yeah.
Probably
I don't
Starfish.
remember what
Anyway,
it's called.
anyway, so Jay Garrick shows up pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Demands that Wells admit that he created the metahumans, including Zoom. So
Mm-hmm.
we find out, yeah, okay, Earth 2 Harrison Wells is, he's responsible for everything there. So no matter what, Harrison Wells leads to
Would
really
have been
bad
res-
things. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So on Earth 1 here, Team Flash meets Earth 2 Wells.
Wait.
Go ahead.
So we knew that Wells was gonna do it anyway in our continuity.
Mhm.
It's just that Eobard
Yeah.
needed to have it happen sooner, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So he was gonna do it anyway.
Eobard's in a hurry because he wants to get back to the future.
Right.
And so he kind of accelerated the timetable.
Right. Okay.
But
I just wanted to get that straight. I thought I remembered it that way, but I
Right.
wasn't sure.
So no, you're right. So yeah, they meet him. Barry admits that Wells admits to Barry that he created those metahumans. Anybody really wants to help.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay is just like, no, this dude does not want to help. But the thing that I loved about this introduction where they meet is that Joe shows up out of nowhere. He comes into Star Labs without any hesitation, pulls out his revolver, bam, 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 right at Wells.
He's ready to go, right?
I mean, just no hesitation on his part, just open fired. So Barry, of course, has to step in and grab the bullets because, hey, faster than a speeding bullet. Oh
Mhm.
wait, that was the other guy. Never mind.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's faster than that guy.
yeah,
So
he's pretty much.
he's faster
He's
than
the fastest man alive, so yes,
That's right.
he's faster than a speeding bullet by logic.
Exactly.
Sorry, comic book fans, but yep, that's the way it is. The Dr. Light shows up from Earth 2. So basically, we're getting Earth 2 villain of the week.
Right.
We're continuing this.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of, it used to be on Smallville, it was the Freak of the Week. Now we're getting the Earth 2 Menace of the Week
Mm-hmm.
here on The Flash. She starts robbing banks. She initially, Jay dismisses her like, she was just a thief and she's not really all that dangerous, but she ended up getting superpowers. So there's a big confrontation, and then Dr. Light takes off her helmet at one point and reveals that, hey, it's the Earth 2 Linda Park,
Mm-hmm.
played by Melise Zhao.
Right.
So in a little dual role, but nothing like the Earth 1. So
Yeah.
we get.
And they have been killing their doppelgangers, so
So now we kind of know why Linda Park was kind of recently introduced because they
That's
wanted
right.
to do this.
Yeah. They're calling them breachers, by the way, so it would be breachers of the week.
Breachers of the Week.
Yeah. Which sounds terrible.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like
but-
you split your pants or something. Right?
It does. That's bad.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a great little sequence where Barry goes on a blind date after getting blinded by Dr. Light. So it's a literal
Yeah.
so it's a literal
Literal
blind
blind.
date
Yeah.
with Patty
Yeah.
after asking her out earlier in the episode.
And I like that she's a good enough detective that she figures it out.
Yes. Now they go through this whole big rigmarole where they give Barry these like sunglasses, not the sonic shades on Doctor Who, but these shades that they can transmit video, black and white, where Cisco can kind of guide Barry through the gate or the date because Cisco is essentially Barry's wingman on this date.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sitting there like he's almost like he's eating popcorn, watching this thing. Has his whole like I'm just here to read the comments face on.
Right. TLDR.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's just enjoying the hell out of it.
Right. Until it comes to where Barry has to say something about the color of Patty's dress.
And Cisco's like, dude, it's in black and white. I don't know what color it is.
Right. Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, whatever color it is, it looks good on you.
Right. But Patty, thankfully.
Whatever he says.
But yeah, like you said, Patty, thankfully, is a good enough detective. She figures this out.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're just blind, right?
Yeah. And he plays it off.
And he does a good excuse, like, oh yeah, and my eyes dilated. I can't see.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it's just
Yeah.
it's nice to know that Patty's not a complete like clueless. Although she hasn't quite figured out Barry's identity yet.
No, but that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. We don't need everybody knowing Barry's identity.
No. And I do like that he says, I had my eyes dilated, but I didn't want to stand you up.
Yeah.
And I think that's really sweet that he
Right.
says that, because she says,
Yeah.
I'm used to people standing me up. And that's just
He,
very
he
nice.
didn't want to let her down because
Right.
Barry Allen is a nice guy.
Yes.
We all know
And
where
that
nice
really,
guys end up, but
yeah, well,
how they
in the
finish.
friend zone is where they end
Yeah,
up,
pretty much.
unfortunately.
Well, that's where Barry was there with Iris for a long time.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
so Dr. Light attempts to kill Linda, take over her life, but then ends up accidentally killing Linda's boss.
Yeah.
And then then we get later on we get the revelation. Well, basically Wells outs Cisco
Mm-hmm.
as a metahuman.
Like a dick.
Yeah, like a dick, because
Yeah.
Earth 2 Wells, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so Harry has this his little star watch or whatever you call it. It's a metahuman detector, and he holds it up. So it's like in Harry Potter, like where Hagrid goes, like Harry, or like you're a metahuman detector, Harry, instead of a wizard or whatever. You're a metahuman detecting wizard, Harry, something like that.
Right.
But I'm not doing it justice. The So Cisco is like, first he's trying to blow it off, but then he comes around. He gets encouraged by Wells to use his powers on Dr. Light's helmet to
Mm-hmm.
locate her. And so they track down where Dr. Light is, and Barry ends up being advised to use this speed mirage technique. So we get another weapon in Flash's arsenal.
Right.
As if he's not powerful enough, he gets even more skills.
But he does this in the comic book too.
He does. So it was cool to see that we get the speed mirage technique. So that gets suggested by Wells. So they defeat Dr. Light. They lock her up. They plan to use her to lure Zoom to defeat Zoom. Not sure why Zoom would even bother to show up, but but this is their plan. And Jay is apparently not down with this plan. He thinks it's too dangerous. He's like, I'm out of here. See ya. And then as he's walking off, he's like, well, you need to ask Wells why all of a sudden he's on board with taking out Zoom.
Right.
So was there like maybe he was pals with Zoom at some point? We don't know.
Right. And we have to talk about all the romance in this episode, I guess, right?
Yes, we do. Well, we talked about Barry and Patty.
Yeah.
But Cisco gets a little action in this
He
episode.
does.
Because over at CC Jitters, oh yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's coming. You got the phone.
Yeah.
You got the phone number. But yeah.
Yeah, still.
But who happens to be the latest barista at Jitters, but none other than Kendra Saunders, aka the future Hawk Girl.
That's right.
Played by Ciara Renee. So
I'm new in town.
Yes, I'm new in town because they're setting up our spinoff series.
That's right.
Which is basically what it is. I mean,
and
now she did. Hawkgirl was introduced briefly in a cameo in the season 1 finale, Fast Enough, because she's in a crowd shot as like when the wormhole opens above Central City. She's one of those people going, "Oh, what's that?"
Really?
Really. So she's in. Yeah. So you can look her up. She's an Easter egg basically in the season 1 finale.
Okay.
So she's been there at least since the season 1 finale in Central City.
So this is a doomed relationship because she's...
Yeah, because she's going to go off on the other show. Unless they have a long or show distance romance, I guess. I don't know how you call it.
Show distance.
Like we cross over every so often so I can like hook up and we can have dinner. But
and there's more romance.
Yeah. Okay, which romance did I miss?
Jay and Caitlin.
Oh, Jaitlin. As I like to call it, Jaitlin.
Yes, they were ever so rudely interrupted.
Yeah, that's true.
By their van being upturned.
That was right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they started to smooch.
Yep.
And then Dr. Light turns their van upside down.
I still think this is just a little soon after Ronnie's supposedly dead. The guy.
Look, I agree with you, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's like he was dead before. I got over it then.
Yeah. I just said they were doing this though in this episode. I could see the attraction.
And I keep it, it's hard to me to kind of separate the comics a little bit with Jay because I'm like, okay, his wife Joan. Where's his wife Joan?
I know.
But I have to like, okay, this Jay is single in this
Yeah.
continuity. I have to ignore that. But
Right. And this Caitlin isn't bad.
yeah, because she's gonna become evil, so it's not gonna last anyway.
Yeah. Or is it the Earth 2 Caitlin that's bad, or
It's a good question.
yeah.
We'll find out. But
We've seen her in the makeup already, so
yeah, well, that was because they teased that during the when Barry's going through the Speed Force, getting
right.
little glimpses of the future,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those was Caitlin as Killer Frost.
Right.
Spoilers, guys, but yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
it's been all
but
over the
I know.
place.
So yeah.
We don't know what context it's in, so
Now, one thing we also got in this episode was after Cisco gets his phone number from Kendra, he goes back and he's like, "Hey, I got the number." And Barry and Caitlin give him his actual superhero name of
that's
Vibe.
right. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of funny where Barry gives him the name as opposed to Cisco naming Barry's villains.
Right.
So
Well, Barry and Caitlin.
yeah, they did.
Kind of. Yeah. And she goes, Vibe. Like she confirms that's the
Right.
good name.
Right.
Vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was funny.
It was a good episode.
Yep. Oh, and then we got the cliffhanger with back on Earth 2, we had Zoom with Wells's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Holding her hostage.
Right. Now, this was played by Violet Bean, who's supposedly playing Jesse Quick.
Right.
So is this like she not Johnny Chambers and Libby Lawrence's daughter in this continuity? She's Wells's daughter? So does that mean her name is Jessie Wells in this continuity? Know what I'm saying?
Or has she been adopted by him?
Yeah,
or-
we don't know. I'm like, I thought she was Jessie Quick, and here she is playing Wells's daughter. What's up with that? So yeah,
Who knows? We'll find out.
yeah, we'll find out. To be continued. So what did you give
That's
this
right.
episode?
I gave it 8 inevitable code names.
And I give this one 8.5 out of 10 speed mirages.
Yep.
Because
Copacetic on that one.
yeah, all right. iZombie, Love and Basketball, written by Bob Dearden, directed by Michael Fields. Essentially, the crime of the week is a kid's basketball coach gets shot while working as a security guard. Liv ends up like making a brain omelet and takes on the persona of a kid's basketball coach.
Right.
Which is pretty funny.
It is kind of funny.
She's really, I mean, just the range of, I'm forgetting her name. The actress that plays Liv. I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. See, I'm not the only one.
You did it to me, though.
I know. I had a brain.
Rose McIver.
Rose McIver. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't believe I forgot that. Because, yeah, she's just, the range on her is just amazing. She's like,
she is. She's fantastic.
She's like a runner-up Tatiana Maslany.
Yes.
At this point.
She is.
The kids think this abusive dad killed the security guard, which comes into play later on because Clive makes a visit to that abusive dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really interesting moment because Clive goes off on this abusive dad. He provokes him into a fight and then just wails on the guy, which makes me think, okay, either Clive was abused as a kid or he knows someone who was abused as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised there was no repercussions for this yet for Clive.
Right.
I mean, he even goes into the office. His boss calls him in. Clive thinks that, oh, yeah, by the way, I don't know, I let things get out of hand. And then the boss talks about something else entirely. So, kind of curious about that.
Yeah, me too.
I wonder if that's going to be a new subplot for Clive, but
maybe.
Anyway, I just thought
he needs a new subplot.
He does. Although, well, he's already got his new possible love interest.
Yeah.
Del Bosio.
True. And she was in this one?
She was in this one because she kind of gives him the kind of moving the story a little bit forward where she tells him she found this astronaut's hair in the sink at Meet Cute.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully she's going to work with him on that.
Right. And tracking that down, which of course leads to Major ultimately. It does not look good for me. They're going this whole misdirection route where like, okay, Major in this episode, he kind of gets his act together. He gets his groove back or tries to get his groove back.
Right.
But ultimately it's going to bite him in the ass, right?
It is.
Hard.
Yeah.
Because he killed all these people, innocent zombie guys, and threw them off bridges.
It's most likely going to lead to Liv having to come out to Babineau.
Right.
Right?
I would think so.
Don't you think that's going to be the outcome?
Right. So maybe they
Yeah.
can they can get rid of that whole like, oh, I have visions thing,
Right.
which would be a good goal because that
Right.
yeah.
So Clive can actually be
Yeah.
in club.
Yeah, in the Scooby Gang,
Right.
which essentially that's what this is.
And to have him not come so close to eating brains
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah, because every time it seems like he goes down to the morgue, it's like, that smells good.
Right. It's been like
So-
3 times now. He actually picked up a piece of pizza and
Yeah.
ate a piece of it once, and I'm like, "Oh." So, yeah, let's not do that anymore.
He's like, brains. And then
Yeah.
here at the end of this episode, we had Mrs. Suzuki, wife of
Mhm.
the dead zombie Lieutenant Suzuki, says that after Clive made some accusations that her husband was suicidal, she says, yeah, he could have been suicidal. And because she happened to find this tub of little Tupperware of brain hidden and tucked away in his beer fridge.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's kind of coming together. It's like,
So,
what was
think
Yep.
on that.
Yep. I see what you did there.
Thank you.
All right. Very well played.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That was good. There's a great scene where Blaine and Ravi, Blaine ends up like hooking up to give a little, I guess, go back a little bit. Gabriel the guy who cut the boat party utopium.
Mhm.
He gives, he delivers that to or I guess they're trying to figure out the cure.
Right.
And Blaine has more of that tainted utopium sent to Ravi so that
Right.
he can work on the cure.
Mhm.
So then later on, Blaine shows up at the morgue
Right.
where Ravi is about to inject more rats, and turn them into zombie rats
With the tainted
with the
utopia.
tainted utopium.
Right.
Now,
But Blaine mistakenly thinks.
Blaine thinks, yeah, oh, that's the cure.
Right.
And then which triggers like Gabriel sniffing around going, because Gabriel apparently really wants this cure.
Mhm.
So he grabs the needle, injects himself, and then all of a sudden kind of crumbles to dust and dies.
Right.
So
And they figure out
that the tainted utopium is now a zombie killing tool.
an instant zombie killing tool.
Yeah, it's the anti-cure.
And they look at each other like, this is a revelation.
And the race is on.
Right. And then there's
they make this mad dash for this vial of tainted utopium.
really awkward grasping fight scene.
Yeah, they're like climbing, like they're down on the floor. They're banging stuff. They're diving through like cabinets and stuff to get this thing. And then finally, Ravi gets the upper hand by smashing the vial.
Yep.
So that Blaine can't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And Blaine's just like, oh, okay.
And he walks away. And of course, Ravi doesn't
cure.
want it. Right.
Yeah. But that
it's really tainted now.
Yes.
So, unfortunately.
Yes.
No one has it.
No one has the tainted utopium now. Thanks, Blaine.
However, Ravi knows who it was.
Right.
Because it's the twin of the guy that he had on the table. I mean, he knows.
Yes.
Who the guy is.
Well, the courier showed up.
Right.
That was his twin.
But still, I mean, he could probably trace it and find out.
Go through the courier.
Right.
Yeah.
Or else why would they introduce him as someone that Blaine could recognize?
Yeah. You mean Ravi could recognize?
I mean, I'm sorry, Ravi could recognize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's what I was thinking is, Ravi recognized this guy right off the bat.
Yeah.
And if they weren't meaning for Ravi to be able to track down more, why would they, introduce this guy that Ravi recognized?
Pretty much. Yeah. We had Gilda making some moves because apparently she needs to get a blood sample of Liv.
I'm so tired of her.
So she she goes to Liv. They kind of have this like little moment where they're comparing sexual conquest or something.
Yes, and it happens to be the same person.
Yeah, and Gilda kind of figures it out that she's been sleeping with Major.
Mm-hmm.
So, which makes her the jelly big time.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of like she's cutting some Gilda starts cutting some peppers or something, and then slips with the knife and accidentally cuts Liv.
Right.
To get the blood sample.
Right. And she puts it in her bra.
Yeah, she folds it up all neatly in a napkin, tucks it in there. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if that blood got into
in a cut
or something? Yeah, and turned her a zombie, but no such luck.
No. I want her to go.
badly.
Yeah, I just don't like her at all. And it's not even a good kind of dislike.
Yeah, not the villain you love to hate,
Yeah, I like Blaine
right?
as a villain. I like him. And I like Steven Weber's villain a little bit.
Yeah.
But Gilda, I just don't like her.
I think it's just maybe because Gilda is doing these little like menial henchwoman tasks. She's not really a full villain.
Maybe.
I
I
don't
just
know.
think she's duplicitous
Yeah.
and
Well,
mean.
that's her character. That's what she's supposed to be. But yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, she's very suspicious of Major at this point because Major's showing up, saying that the zombie suspects are negatives,
Right?
and so he doesn't have to kill anybody. And then Major, this is where Major's kind of start to turn things around because he tries to break up with Gilda.
Right?
Gilda is not happy, not like, we'll talk about this later kind of
Yeah.
thing. She's not sold on this breakup yet.
Right. She stomps off, right?
Yeah. Has a hissy.
And she realizes it's because he's been making out with Liv.
Right. So there's
Yeah.
is it just because she doesn't want Liv to have him? She's kind of competing with Liv as a mean
Yeah.
girl, essentially. Yeah.
And it's not because I don't like her in
Right.
that way either. I just think she's not written well. Do you think she's not written well, or do you? I mean,
I think she could be
me or
better, but
okay,
I think she serves a role.
yeah,
But
I guess so.
yeah, she's kind of like Liv's arch enemy.
I guess.
I mean, Blaine is her arch enemy, but
Yeah.
this is like her rival.
Her sneaky arch enemy.
Yeah, because she's inside. She's actually posing as a roommate. She's
Yeah.
the evil roommate from hell. It's like the single white female kind of thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So
Now let's hope she starts to look like Liv
because
soon.
she's working on she's working on Liv's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's kind of going single white female,
Mm-hmm.
which Liv is a single white female because she's as white as it gets.
Right. Exactly.
So, so Major finally gets he goes home, he finally showers, gets the stank off.
Yep.
Shaves, cleans himself, disposes of his utopium stash. So well
That's
done
right.
there.
Mm-hmm. He's going straight.
He goes to Liv and says, "We really want to get back together." Liv's like, "Well, you could turn into a zombie." Major says, "Well, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be with you."
That's quite the turnaround for him.
Yeah, it is. Now, how long it lasts, we don't know because all of a sudden Gilda could start flexing at the gym, and then Major's right back on the Gilda train. We don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
So that's pretty.
Plus, they have stuff on him. So
yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So if you have anything else,
was there anything else?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
No.
Although I did like Liv giving Clive grief for being a Knicks fan.
That was funny.
That was funny. I like that.
That was funny. Yeah, I liked it. No, I think that's it. It was a pretty decent episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent episode too. So what did you give it?
I gave it 7.5 ignored goosebumps.
And I was a little higher on this one than you. I gave it 8 out of 10 flushed doses of utopium.
I think I'll go a little higher when they start getting into the arc.
The meat of it.
Right.
Not the meat cute, I guess.
They're starting to delve into the arc.
Okay.
I want to get heavier into it. This zombie of the week thing.
Yeah.
I wish they would get out of that. I don't like procedurals so much, but
I think they need to move the lab thing where the Max Rager lab stuff forward faster.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they obviously have a plan. They want Liv's blood, so we need to move that along a little bit.
Agreed.
So instead of just little bits, okay, this week Gilda gets the blood, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's so crazy slow.
Yeah, so kind of speed that plot line a little faster.
I agree.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
306. Among Us Hide ...
Crazy Town.
Written by Drew Z. Greenberg from Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame. And Daredevil, I believe, right? Didn't you write for
I think so.
I think so. Directed by Dwight Little. And this is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s 50th episode. So they hit the 5-0 with this.
Nice.
Moving right along. This one, we essentially find out who Lash is.
Yes, we do.
And it's a nice little twist.
It's not who I expected at all.
No, I don't think anybody expected this one, but yeah. So following up from last week, S.H.I.E.L.D. finds Andrew Garner alive, not blowed up real good.
I thought he was blowed up
I thought
real
it was
good.
blowed up real good too, but nope, he's alive. He says that there was like he was being followed by one of Coulson's men. There was a distraction. Then like gasoline and lighter must have mixed and then created this explosion where he got blowed up, but not blowed up real good apparently. So
And I liked how they showed his perspective on it, on what he was saying first,
right
before they showed the second take on things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of leads you down that path, and then that's when the twist happens, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, he obviously was not expecting anyone else to have survived it.
Right.
Whoops.
Yeah. Hunter gets benched by Coulson for his incredible stupidity last episode.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Right.
He ends up getting replaced by May on the Ward mission.
That's right.
And May's ready to go. She's like, I'm back, baby.
That's right.
And so Daisy is pissed off about Lash because that he's still out there killing Inhumans. She theorizes that Lash is in the ATCU because of his ability to transform into a regular person. So it's got to be somebody there, which kind of also leads us down this path.
Right.
So you kind of wonder if it's that little hench guy of Rosalind Price's at this point, Kibo or whatever his name is.
Right. Kibo.
I don't know what his name is.
He's got the Geordie LaForge thing.
Lobot.
But it's on the back of his head.
We called him Lobot.
Lobot.
It's Lobot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
So you think it's we thought it was Lobot, but it's not Lobot. As
we'll
it turns
call him Lobot, though.
Lobot. And Daisy also wonders if Coulson's getting too attached to Rosalind Price. So good, legitimate concerns in my opinion. Yeah. May finds Bobby Morse, Mockingbird, and provokes her into a fight. Basically, it turns out after the fight that it's all a big test just to see if Bobby's ready to return to active duty. Guess what? She's back on active duty.
Right.
So we can finally get rid of Mockingbird in the lab, get her out there beating up bad guys again.
It's about time.
Yeah, wait. That should have been like 3 episodes ago, in my opinion.
Right.
Not just because I'm a big Mockingbird fan, but on the way to his little ATCU tour, Coulson's in the car with Rosalind Price when she gets a call that there's a break-in at her house. So they end up diverting, going there, and Coulson's like, hey, wait a minute, all this furniture's new, and there's this baseball bat with all these signatures on it, because I'm a big baseball fan. And you brought me burgers from my favorite burger place.
Yeah.
So Coulson's like, wait a minute here. So he thinks that she basically staged this break-in to kind of get his, like, woo him over to the Rosalind Price side of the force, I guess.
Right.
So,
and he finds out some personal stuff about her at that point too.
Right. Yes, that's true.
Because
later on, we find out that she tells Coulson that she wants to, but why she wants to cure Inhumans. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So she wants to cure Inhumans because she couldn't help her husband,
right,
who apparently died of cancer.
Which has nothing to do with Inhumans.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm not sure. And then Price admits that she might want Coulson to like her.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, she's going to hand over like this little sheet of paper with boxes on it. Do you like me? Yes, no,
yes,
check,
no.
check 1 here.
Maybe. Yeah. Yes, no, maybe.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
And he writes in, no, you have cooties.
Yeah.
On the bottom of it. Yeah.
But thanks.
Girls have cooties.
But thanks for the burgers.
Right. And it's girls,
Yes.
Gurls.
Nice. Yes. Yeah.
Cooties with the K turned backwards.
Nice. We get the introduction of Powers Booth as Gideon Malik, who may or may not be the same character that he played in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, as one of those big government faceless, shadowy superior entities. But
I'm guessing he is.
He should be. If not, it should be the same guy.
Because it's all synergy.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Yeah.
So But he ends up calling Ward, calls him up, says he doesn't think that little Werner von Strucker should be on board with their little plan. So Malik offers Strucker to Ward, saying he's sacrificing a pawn to save the game, whatever that means.
Right.
So apparently Malik's playing chess here, and we don't know what the objective is yet.
Yeah. And Ward is not happy.
But it's cool we get Powers Booth, though, because he's always cool to watch.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Ward is pretty much just not happy with anything right now. He tears his assistant a new one.
Yeah.
For letting Hunter in.
Rightfully so, really.
True. And then, he got shot, so he's mad at himself.
Dude shot me in the shoulder.
Yeah. You shot me, you a-hole.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
you midi dickweed.
Right. And then he pretty much gets called on the carpet.
Yeah.
By this big guy.
Yeah.
So he's just in hurt land. He is not happy with anything. So it was kind of nice to see him squirm in this episode.
It was because normally he's like, haha, I'm outsmarting all of you.
Right. And in this one, he was
No, it wasn't.
He was on the losing side. And to also see that May is going to go after him.
Right.
And May just does not lose.
Yeah, well, considering, they're formerly romantically entangled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, May's probably the worst ex-girlfriend you want to have.
Right.
Pissed off at you.
Right.
It's okay if you're getting along like Andrew for now. And for now, ...
Right.
But if it's Ward where if he's really screwed her over, so yeah, she's gunning for him. And I just can't wait for that confrontation. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it is. It is. And she is gunning.
Yep. Excuse me. Sorry.
Especially since what happened to Andrew is his fault as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simmons tells Daisy that Banks isn't a human, so I guess you don't need to worry about him.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently all Daisy cares about are Inhumans these days.
Right.
Right. Mac and
Daisy and Lincoln had a little flirting.
Yep, that happens later.
Session.
Mac and Daisy end up they go to this. They end up at the ACTCU facility,
and
they see Coulson seeing this captured Inhuman arrive in suspended animation. So Daisy's like squinty evil eye.
Right, she didn't like that.
She's like gritting her teeth, going.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't like working with them to begin with.
No, she's already suspicious of Rosalind Price because she's all protective of Coulson because she has daddy issues.
Yes.
Because Coulson is her surrogate daddy. For those of you who haven't picked up on that yet.
Duh. If you haven't picked up on that yet,
so
let me get you a pair of glasses.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Strucker ends up getting tortured by, was it Lobot? Lobot torture?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lobot tortures him.
His name is Kibo.
I know, that's why I called him Kibo.
But Lobot, I like Lobot.
Lobot's better. Lobot tortures Strucker, which at the same time, Bobby Mockingbird and Agent May burst in. So there's a big fight. Lobot wounds Strucker. I have Kibo written down here, but I want to go with Lobot. Lobot's much better.
Okay,
Lobot wounds Strucker. Lobot fights Bobby in a pool, but then she electrocutes him with her baton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is amazing that she didn't electrocute herself because she's dripping wet.
I know.
How did that work?
I don't know.
Because water conducts electricity here.
Right.
Hello?
Plus she's holding the instrument.
I know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
That would have been like the worst move ever. Electrocuting yourself as you're trying to electrocute a bad guy.
I know. I didn't understand it at all.
I didn't understand.
Unless she's standing on an insulator.
Yes.
That would be the only way.
Or like she has like rubber-soled boots.
Rubber boots.
To ground her, but...
Right. She'd have to have some sort of insulation on her side.
Yeah.
And even then,
yeah,
it would be iffy that she could electrocute someone else.
Right.
Because the circuit would have to be complete.
Yes.
Yeah, we're science nerds.
And this is like basic science here, so yeah.
It is actually basic
So
science.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. writers crack open a textbook now and again.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Anyway, so Strucker's dying. Tells May that Garner survived his attack because dun 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 he's Lash.
Right.
And May's like, no, that's not true. That's impossible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta hide your hand. She's doing the Luke Skywalker thing.
Yeah, and they showed that same flashback
Yeah.
from the convenience store, but from
The full-
Von Strucker's point of view.
So where we get to see everything.
Right, where we get to see him become Lash, and he's the one that set the fire.
Right.
With the lighter. So yeah. Whoops.
Yep. And lastly, we have Daisy talking to Lincoln on the phone.
And going all coy and going,
you hang up. No, you hang up.
no, you hang up. No, you.
Yep.
No, you hang up.
And then hours later, Lincoln says he's safe.
Hours later.
Yeah. Well,
meanwhile,
yeah. No, I mean like hours later from that conversation, because just those two hanging up would take hours.
Yeah, I know. But they only have 15 seconds left before the call's trace, which is a lie, by the way. You can trace a call in mere seconds now.
Yes.
So just letting everyone know.
So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. writers, do some homework, people.
I know, right? You can trace a call, anywhere within 2 or 3 seconds.
Step your game up.
Right. There's no 15 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. So Lincoln's like, okay, I'm safe where I am. I'm not going anywhere. Garner, however, overhears the phone conversation, and he's like, Daisy, I think Lincoln would be much safer here at the base, where I could kill him.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Dun dun dun.
Where I could kill him.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what'd you give this one?
I gave it 7.5 conflicting flashbacks. I had something else there, but I changed it to that.
Okay. I give this one 8 out of 10 Burger Place takeout bags.
Very nice.
Colson's Burger Place.
It was a good episode.
It's going to be a future T Fury shirt where Colson's going to be there with his burger, eating his hamburger or something.
Yeah.
So
standing with his arm around.
Yeah. Rosalind Price.
Rosalind. Yeah. With the
thumbs up. He's got grease on his suit.
Yeah.
And his thumbs up.
With the what kind of car is it?
Lola.
With Lola.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a drive-through. He drives through with Lola.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and they're hanging out the cloth top or whatever.
All right. So if whoever makes that shirt, I deserve a free shirt just for coming up with that.
Agreed. Both of us.
Yes, we both get a free shirt. I don't want to leave you out. Yeah, we both get free shirts.
Yeah. So this wasn't as good as the last episode. That last episode, though.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Right.
The one on the planet.
Yeah.
I want more like that. So you loved that episode, but you didn't like the Walking Dead.
I didn't love that episode.
All right.
I'm gonna go. You want me to go back to my rating?
No, I believe you.
Because I thought it was okay, but I was. Yeah, I know. I had a little problem with that episode too.
Okay, let's end on a high note.
On the blue filter planet, yeah. All right, high note. Arrow.
Yay!
Yay! Episode 405, Haunted.
Okay.
Yeah, we can. Written by Brian Ford Sullivan and Oscar Balderrama. Directed, interestingly enough, by John Badham, who was also directed the Constantine episode Dance Vaudou.
Interesting how that works, right?
Yeah, synergy. So they brought in. So kudos to Arrow for bringing in a Constantine director to direct the Constantine episode.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they left it open, which I really like.
Yeah, didn't they? It wasn't it big like, okay, I guess John will walk off in the sunset. We won't see him ever again. But no, there was quite a lot of intimations that maybe we will see him again. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Legends of Tomorrow.
Or Arrow
again. Or I want to see them in Central City with the Flash, but that would be great.
That would be good
too.
Yeah.
But okay, so special guest Matt Ryan returning as John Constantine. Hooray! Yay! Obviously this is the big Constantine episode, so we'll get into that. Apparently there's like various attacks going on in the city because at the end of last episode, Sarah, who's all feral now, is like running amok in the city, killing people, and turns out people who look a lot like Thea Queen.
Did you catch that right off? Because I did.
Yeah, I did too.
It was immediate.
It's the hairstyle. It's like, how can
Yeah.
you not make that connection?
Yeah.
But yeah. So responding to this nightclub attack, Oliver discovers, hey, guess what? Sarah's alive, and they kept it from you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering when they were going to get around to telling him.
I know.
Did you think
It
he
was so stupid.
would not find out about it? Well, we got to keep this secret.
And why wouldn't they go to him? I mean, he was going to be Ra's al Ghul, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, he knows more than you do about it.
I would think.
Yeah.
They're not really thinking this through.
Right.
Yeah. So Oliver's understandably pissed off at Laurel, and which is interesting because, you know, as Laurel points out later, there's a little bit of hypocrisy, as there always is with Oliver, because he's a hypocrite a lot of the ways. We get the first flashback sequence, and this time, how great was it that the flashbacks actually mattered? Right?
I know.
Right?
I was happy about these ones.
They haven't mattered since season 2,
Right.
when we had Deathstroke.
Right.
So
I was so happy.
I mean, they kind of matter when we had Katana, but that was only at the end of the season when Katana shows up.
Right.
And it's
Oh,
like,
I was so
and
happy.
It's like, oh, it's Katana. And
I was so happy about this one.
but yes, so yeah, we were thinking, oh no, they're doing flashbacks, and you're like, oh, why are we getting flashbacks in the Constantine episode? But guess what? Constantine's in the flashbacks. How great is that?
I know. It was wonderful.
So they mattered. Conklin, redneck Conklin, he spits out his tobacco and brings Oliver to Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Baron Blitzkrieg, whatever, and who?
Yes.
He tries to say,
Baron
he tries to call out Oliver as a spy, but Ryder's not buying into it. He's like, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, there's this guy who showed up on the island, and guess what? Turns out to be John Constantine, who's like,
right.
I suppose none of you happen to have a cigarette, mate, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I love how he is squirming out of the handcuffs,
yes.
right?
Right.
And he figures that Ollie's going to be, you know, the sap.
Yes.
In that group. And so he takes the gun and he holds it on Oliver's head.
Right.
And takes him away, which is great. I mean, he thinks Oliver's the one.
How weird was it to see John with a gun?
Very.
I mean, he was very physical in this episode, which I thought was really interesting.
But I'm guessing he assumed that was the only way he was going to be able to get out of camp.
Yeah.
And you notice as soon as he figures out he doesn't need it, he stowed it.
Right. But he knows how to use that gun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's just knows exactly shoot the tires.
Right.
And he's very.
He does that in the comics too, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's his last resort is a gun.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to use a gun.
I want to know where he learned to use the gun,
but he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's probably a natural thing. I mean, when you know how to use magic, a gun is easy, I'm guessing. Yeah. So I thought it was good though. You know, he's holding the gun on Oliver, takes him out of the tent, and then to have the switcheroo come around where Ollie gets out of the handcuffs later.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, because what happens, we find out is that Constantine is looking for something like this artifact, this orb. So they end up, it goes a little Indiana Jones at the moment for a little bit, because they go into this chamber where the orb is, and like you said, John turns the tables on Oliver, handcuffs him, but then he gets out of the handcuffs.
Right.
It's like, see, I can get out of that too.
I know some tricks too. Yeah,
I know some tricks too. And a good thing, because Constantine gets a little ahead of himself. You know, he doesn't learn from. Apparently, he never saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, because he goes to bring that thing. As soon as he removes the artifact, Booby Trap comes down, ready to kill him, if not for Oliver pushing him out of harm's way.
Right, and this is why he owes him.
Yeah.
Now you know that was the Orb of Horus.
Right.
Which he used in the pilot of Constantine.
Oh.
Right.
Right.
And it also is the powers that Hawkman and Hawkwoman use to gain their power. So it's got this whole
interesting. So that also makes me wonder if it's Legends of Tomorrow is going to.
Could be.
Interesting.
So this has a direct tie into the series, which was cool.
Right.
that they used the item that he actually used on the series, and they did a callback to it too.
Right.
Yeah, I did it about a year ago. Remember when he talks about restoring
Right.
someone's soul to their body? So I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
Mhm.
So Oliver and Felicity figure out that Sarah is targeting women who look like Thea. Surprise.
Duh.
Sarah texts
Which Thea should already know
Sarah.
because she's in.
Yeah, Sarah texts Thea at her apartment, and then Thea fights her off, but gets injured on the stairwell. Now she did do a cool move where she kind of, as she's racing down away from Sarah down the stairs, she kicks open the door to make it
To
look
the
like
outside.
she went one direction where she goes the other
Right.
direction, which I thought was a
Right.
cool move. But then,
And then Sarah goes,
yeah,
she runs through. She didn't actually make that noise,
No,
but yeah,
why not?
it was much more feral than that.
It was, but yeah, Sarah ends up escaping. Damien Dark, okay. Damien Dark
Yeah.
hooks up with Quentin Lance, gives him a new little mission, little task.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, hey, I want you to install this computer virus in this security company.
Mhm.
Why? Well, don't just do it.
Right.
So
It's better you not ask questions, young man.
exactly. So Lance gets with Diggle, and they both go to the security company just to figure out what's going on. So Lance uploads the virus, but then as that virus is like starts to delete names out of their little database, Diggle notices that, hey, my brother's name was one of those names being deleted.
Mhm.
What's up with that?
Whoops. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then later on,
yeah. Later on, we find out
he
Lance,
confronts
Lance gives Diggle this file, and Diggle learns that his brother was killed because he was a drug cartel leader.
Right. Or involved
in it somewhere. But yeah, he was not a good guy.
Right.
So.
And Diggle says it's better he knows.
Right.
Why. Yeah.
So it's interesting because.
Which is sad.
It was kind of cool because we actually had Lance working with Diggle, which we never get to see.
I know.
So,
it was
so that,
interesting, right?
Yeah, so that was good.
And I like how Dark thinks that Lance was a Luddite.
Yeah.
He calls him a Luddite.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, why? Because you've never seen him use a computer?
Right.
All right.
Well, he figures he's just this moronic cop.
Yeah.
That doesn't, he's not a tech genius.
Well, he's not, but still, he's not a Luddite.
Yeah, exactly. It's, he's a bad guy. He's going to be insulting.
Yeah, so. Definitely.
Well, he probably dismisses him anyway because it's like, hey, I told you to kill your daughter and you didn't kill your daughter.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Idiot.
Right. And I do like the reaction that Constantine has when he hears about Damien Dark being in town.
Yes. Yeah, I was getting the.
He is none too pleased.
He's like, oh, Damien Dark. Woo, gotta look at the time. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go, mate. But yeah, he basically ends up warning Oliver, like, you might want to get out of town.
Yeah.
Now,
nothing good will happen.
Right. But he doesn't offer to stay and help Oliver with Damien Dark.
No, because nothing good is going to happen. When it comes to John.
Well, that's true because he's always looking out for himself, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
He is. He says, if you need my help again, call.
Right.
But not right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Not while Damien's in town. Yeah. I'm out, mate.
Right, exactly. Before
my trench coat is flapping in the breeze. I am gone. Right?
Chaz, bring the cab around.
Right.
All right. Before all that happened, though, of course, we get the big resurrection sequence.
Yeah, that was really cool, I thought.
Yeah, Constantine joins Team Arrow in their new Lair 3.0. Arrow.
How many people are they going to bring down
I know,
there?
exactly.
Although with Constantine, he's not going to tell anyone.
And I thought it was kind of interesting that Team Arrow are basically snobs to Constantine.
They kind of are.
They're like, where did you dig this guy up?
I know,
They're
they
kind of
are.
looking down their noses at him a little bit.
Although Felicity.
No, Thea.
Thea says he's some kind of hot. Yes.
Thea was a
different kind of hot.
She.
And then Felicity says, "I'm just glad that
it's not another hot girl that Oliver knows." Yeah.
Right. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I thought it was interesting that Thea was really into because she likes the bad boys, which makes sense.
Right. He is very rumply, I have to say. Right. He's not exactly clean cut and, well dressed like they all are.
Yeah.
With their nice leather outfits.
And the way they all stand in like a perfect formation.
Right.
Side by side.
Right. He's always kind of smoky
Yep.
and he probably doesn't smell great.
Yeah, at least
You know what I'm
the trench
saying?
coat doesn't.
Right. So
Yeah.
I can see where they'd be like,
Yeah.
dude, who are you?
So Constantine explains that Sarah needs restitutionum, which
Mhm.
I don't even know if that's actually a word, but that's what he says.
Yeah.
Which basically turns out to be the restoration of her soul. So,
Right.
which is why she's crazy, because she doesn't have her soul. You
Right.
got the body, you need the soul. Okay.
Mhm.
So he does this incantation. He gets Oliver and Laurel to help him in the spirit world or wherever
Right.
Sarah's soul resides.
I'm guessing it's the spirit. Well, it's wherever spirit world
Yeah.
that the I was
League
gonna
of
say
League of
infinity pool.
Assassins or the Lazarus
Whatever the
pit
Lazarus
souls,
pit.
yeah, wherever they go.
Yeah.
But so they enter the spirit world, bring Sarah's soul back to her, so she's all better now, and now she can go off on a spin-off series.
Right.
And Oliver tells Constantine, "Dude, anytime you need help, I'll be there."
That's right.
And
And Constantine says same goes.
except for what? Damien Dark?
Except for
yeah.
yeah.
That
As soon as you get this
yeah,
whole
yeah.
Damien Dark
If you
thing
survive
settled.
that, then we'll talk. But yeah.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting that Oliver is like, I'll help you anytime. So wouldn't it be interesting? Like, maybe we see Constantine again.
Yeah, would be
Yeah.
nice. And the ratings were way up for this
Yes, they
episode
were. They
too.
actually notched up a point, rating a full
Mhm.
point, or no, it was a tenth of a point, but they went up.
Yeah.
So
And there was something I was gonna say.
well, we got one more thing though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, two more things. I'm sorry. The last flashback thing we get, Constantine breaks off part of the orb so that Oliver has something to take back to Baron Ryder.
Right. It was the shiny part.
Yeah, the shiny part, which apparently means nothing. It's all the staff part.
Right.
So he uses that staff part to place this tattoo of a protective spell on Oliver's stomach. And he warns like Ryder's up to something. This will help you. Trust me.
Right. And it's like, what is it, Chinese
Yeah,
characters?
it's like Chinese
or
characters. So
something?
we finally get the explanation of why Oliver has that particular tattoo. So
Right.
we get that explanation.
But he's had the dragon taken off his back
Right.
this season.
Yeah. But that was, Oliver did that willingly.
Mhm.
But he apparently must have kept the other one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he still has that one, I
Yeah.
think.
And then Oliver, last thing we see of Constantine, hopefully not forever, is that Oliver asked Constantine to punch him in the face.
Right. Swack.
But I have to think because of that, it's not the most graceful exit for Constantine, right?
No.
So
he's got to come
he's
back.
got to come back at some point.
Yeah.
Now they have said well in interviews, I think Kreisberg said this, that Constantine's not scheduled to come back the rest of the season or whatever, or that
Not scheduled.
well, he didn't say schedule, but he said he's not coming back this season
on Arrow.
on Arrow. So yeah, somewhere else, the Flash perhaps.
Yeah, or
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends, yeah. Or on Constantine. I mean,
Yep.
what?
The interesting, you brought up the ratings. Arrow's ratings were up with Constantine, while Supernatural's were down to a 0.6.
I know.
Arrow was a 1.1. So CW, if you do the math,
yeah,
Constantine might be better than Supernatural right now. As a ratings thing. Now, I know there's a lot of Supernatural fans. I don't want to piss you off. I
know.
But
it's been on like 10 years.
It's been on a long time. It's had a good run. And if you're a network, I would think this would be the wiser business decision, perhaps, would be to have Constantine season 2 on the CW.
If you don't mind the threat of getting lynched in your house by the Supernatural fan.
Yeah. But
that's all I'm saying.
But come on.
Or put John Constantine on your show and make it a John Constantine Supernatural show.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but
make it a DC Comics show now.
Right.
Dovetail the two shows.
Or maybe Constantine shows up at they've pitched Legends of Tomorrow as an anthology, kind of like American Horror Story.
Right.
So
make that
story arc. Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow would be a Supernatural arc.
That's awesome. Let's do that.
Wouldn't that be,
guys? Mr. Kreisberg, please.
Yeah, make it happen, guys. So
please.
Yeah.
I beg of you. This was such a hit. I can't imagine they wouldn't.
Yeah.
try and capitalize on that.
One
And also,
last thing I forgot.
sure,
sorry.
I'll forget this.
Oh, go ahead.
again.
Go ahead first.
Well, one of the things you said about the physicality was that when they were in the spirit world and he actually did the fighting.
Okay. Yeah.
John
Yeah,
Constantine.
he's doing
I like
sword.
that.
He's sword fighting
Yeah, that was
with like
great.
the League of Assassin Spirit or whatever that was.
Yeah, that he told Oliver and Laurel to go and, you need to save her.
Right.
I'm going to hold off this guy. And he did all the fighting scene. It must have been awesome for him to do,
Yeah,
right?
it was. It
Yeah.
was really interesting to see him physical
Yeah.
for once, as opposed to just getting
It
the
was
crap
great.
kicked out of him.
Right.
Right?
It had to be cool. Yeah.
Last thing I want to mention is that we had Mr. Terrific, the future Mr. Terrific, Curtis, downing a crap load of energy drinks.
A lot
So
of
he's talking
energy
really
drinks.
fast and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
You're not allowed to say caffeine in this building anymore.
So after he,
Hi, Felicity. How are you?
yeah, so after he switches back from 78 RPMs to 33, he plays Ray's message for Felicity, who Ray says, "Oh, guess what? I'm alive. I'm in
Mhm.
trouble, but I'm alive."
Mhm.
And we see in the trailers that, hey, he's really tiny and he's with Damien Dark, apparently.
He's tinier than what you're
Well,
doing.
he's really tiny. He's really tiny. Yeah, he's really small.
Really tiny.
Yeah. But Damien Dark apparently has him.
Yep. He's in trouble.
Yep. So it's not just he's hiding out in Felicity's phone like we thought.
No. But I think that message
Right.
on her phone might have something to do with
how to find him.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think that's what's going on there.
So that's all I got. Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. Although we did get a little bit more about Mr.
Damien Dark?
Curtis.
Oh, Curtis.
Where he says that he's also an athlete.
Right, he did, because
he's not just a nerd.
He did it. Yeah, he was an Olympic athlete, and
he really faced
and Felicity's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yes.
So yeah,
I want a medal. Yes,
he's terrific at it.
That's right. He's very terrific. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That he kind of
faced her pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He threw it right back at her
face.
So
yeah.
That was cool. And then all the energy drinks. I liked when they panned that shot and it was like energy drink and 10 energy drinks.
You would think he would be in a coma after all that.
I've had those days.
Yeah.
But it's usually my butt is in this chair and I'm playing video games.
Right. I did that kind of stuff. I would do it with Mountain Dew though, because we didn't have energy drinks back in the day, but Mountain Dew was.
Well, the ones I drink now are made by Mountain Dew, but they are energy drinks.
So rating.
My rating is 8.5 magical spittoons.
I give this one 9 out of 10. Terribly missed cigarette lighters. I was a sucker for this episode. Yeah, I mean, quality-wise, maybe it was a little lower, but it had Constantine in it. So
I know. I almost gave it a 9. I really
got
did.
the Constantine bump, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I should give it a 9. Can I just say 9?
It was so great to see Matt Ryan as John Constantine again.
I switch it. I switch it to 9. 9 magical spittoons.
And please don't let this be the end of it. Please.
No.
Gotta have it.
There has to be
There has to
more.
be a way to keep him in this role because he's perfect for it. Please. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I presume we have a Christina review.
Justina?
Why did I say Christina? Thank you. Justina.
We do.
Apologies, Justina. It's late in the day, so I'm sorry about that.
We do, but it's not audio, so I will read it. Hi, Karen and Charles. Lots of superhero shenanigans. Here we go. Gotham, 7 out of 10 children playing chess. I love the scene between Selena and Silver. I think Selena is jealous, but also doesn't trust Silver with Bruce. I am going to miss the Ed and Kristen relationship. I wish Ed and Penguin weren't going dark at the same time. Too much dark for me. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, 8 out of 10 Inhuman Hunters. Wow. Andrew is Lash. I did not see that coming. I hope we get backstory next week. Bobby rocks. Flash, 8 out of 10. Big belly burgers. I decided 2 Earths are better than 1. How many Earths are covered in Flash comics? How many Earths are covered in Flash comics?
Infinite Earths, because
that's right.
It's infinite Earths.
That's right. Infinite Earths. However, the standard number is pretty much 52, right?
Well, nowadays they've kind of established what's called the multiversity, which has 52 Earths.
Right.
So, yeah.
But There has been Crisis on Infinite
Yes,
Earths.
back in
which
the
is
day, it was Infinite
Infinite Earths.
Worlds.
That's right. Here we go. Back to her email.
Mhm.
Patty and Barry are so cute. I think I must ship them. Wells has a daughter. How cool. Do you think Tess is alive on Earth too? Or is his destiny different on this Earth? Supergirl gets 8 out of 10 snakes named Fluffy. Oh my God. Peter Fasinelli is so awesome. I love the Kara is learning how to be a superhero and she is still has flaws and we get to watch her develop. That is so much fun. Arrow wins for best show of the week.
Yay!
10 out of 10 Risen Canaries. Katie Lotz plays crazy vigilante so great. I can't wait to see her again to see if she is totally restored. I love magic. I am glad it is to be included this season. So disappointed Constantine is not available on my streaming services. I am worried for Thea. She doesn't want to live with this bloodlust. One zombie out of 7 Boba Fett rats.
Yep.
Oh, iZombie.
Yeah, iZombie.
7 out of 10 Boba Fett rats.
Right.
I got it. I have faith that Ravi will be able to figure out how to make a cure, though it will be harder now. I am very, very interested in how Liv's blood compares to a shambling zombie. Have a super week, Justina.
Thanks, Justina.
Yeah.
Sorry for butchering your name. It's late.
I think
we just talked for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So yeah, just give me a little break on that one. But I do want to point out, Justina brought up something. Constantine, for some reason, has vanished from iTunes and Amazon. Like downloading the episodes.
Mhm.
So any chance?
It's coming out on DVD, I'm guessing.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I would love Blu-ray, but
I'm sure it is
at this
on
point,
both.
I'll take DVD, but I would prefer Blu-ray. But
I'm guessing it's coming out on both, and then it'll come back on streaming.
Now it is
services.
airing. For those who don't know, on the El Rey network now.
Ooh, is
El
it?
Rey picked it up.
That's cool.
Which would be like, well, El Rey, you guys could do a season 2 of Constantine.
They won't, though.
No, they won't. But it's wishful thinking.
Yeah, I know. I'd be okay if they just used him on the DC.
Yeah. But
show.
so yeah, I know a lot of people don't have El Rey network, but if you do, check it out. Especially if you have Time Warner, you might have it. But
I have it, and I have
it.
crap.
Yeah.
Crapcast.
Oh, okay. Crapcast. Okay. Well said.
Okay, so how can other people get in touch with us, please?
Yeah, we'll just at Fandom Zone Cast on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a little some love there, and also on Facebook and at the Fandom Zone Podcast. Now, a lot of people, it turns out, we talked about this before the podcast. They're liking the Dangerous Habits, the old podcast that we used to do.
Right.
They're giving this,
which is still there,
which is great, but they're giving that. I mean, we're not doing that podcast now. We're doing the Fandom Zone podcast now. So if you're going to like a podcast, and we hope you do, how about giving the Fandom Zone podcast some love? We're only at 50.
Yes.
We're only at 58 on the Fandom Zone podcast, but we're 108 on Dangerous Habits. I'm not complaining here, but it would be nice if we could bring some of that over to the Phantom Zone podcast, guys.
Right.
Just saying.
It would.
We would greatly appreciate it. So,
yeah.
if you or someone help us out, that's all we're asking.
Mm-hmm.
You can also check us out, obviously, on iTunes, and you can email us at fandomzonecast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, Karen, where can they reach you?
At Aleveria, Aleveria on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a link in my bio for my About Me page. And I am going to put our Facebook page link on there as requested by Mr. Charles Skaggs.
I just happened to notice it because I was using that page to listen to other podcasts by Karen.
Oh, is that where you went?
That's where I went because I figured, well, that's where I could find it fastest.
Cool.
So there. So I visited your page. So there. See?
Excellent.
And you should too. Highly recommended by Charles.
All right. It's easy to get to all my stuff,
exactly.
Right?
So that's one. All right. As for me, at Charles Skaggs on Twitter, you know the deal. At Charles Skaggs on Instagram. I'm on the Facebook. Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus.
I love that.
My blog of geeky things, Damn Good Coffee, and Hot. where I talk about things like Arrow and Constantine and
That's right.
and a bunch of other stuff. Doctor Who, Flash, all the
Mhm.
shows we cover here on the Phantom Zone podcast,
Yeah.
including the Phantom Zone podcast.
That's right. And I want to give a shout out to Philip Parrish, who's been making us graphics
Yes.
for the last couple
Yeah,
episodes.
thanks, Phil.
And they have made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, because he did one. I love when we did episode 30, I think it was, where we did our bros.
The bros.
Yeah. So yeah, of course he uses the David Asia Hawkeye art.
Right. And it was the one I put in our notes document.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah,
So
it was great.
So cheers to Phil for that. So Phil, if you're listening to this one, thanks a lot.
I love
Keep it
them.
up.
And this one, the one from this last episode, had all the 4 Supermen from the Death of Superman.
And if anyone's wanting Zoner t-shirts,
oh yeah, we got to do that.
Apparently, there's been some discussion about trying to get t-shirts going for all all the Southgate Media. Yeah, you need to go on the Southgate Media Facebook page.
Well, I have that
Yeah,
there.
so yeah, check it out because
I'm not a huge fan of.
Well, I know, but
Facebook.
I understand that.
Shh, don't say anything.
I understand, but this one you might be interested in because we're trying to get shirts for various Southgate Media Group shows.
Okay.
Next Stop Everywhere, the Fandom Zone. So
well, that would be cool.
That would be cool. So we're trying to make that happen. So I don't know if it will happen, but wouldn't it be cool if it did?
So we should have a vote on what people want our shirt to look like.
So
that would be cool.
Rob, if you're editing this and listening, we'd love Phantom Zone shirts. So help us make that happen.
We're gonna have hipster ones though, right?
Well, we need Zone.
We listened to the Fandom Zone before it was the
exactly.
Fandom Zone.
When we do that, that was Phil's idea, wasn't it?
Yeah. No.
That was Jeff.
Jeff Peterson's idea.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. That one. Sorry. Jeff.
So it'd be we listened to the Phantom Zone.
I think we need Zoner Nation or something.
Zoner Nation.
Yeah.
Zoner Nation.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Exactly. All right. Well, obviously we're running long again. Trimmed it up a little bit from last week, but we're so many shows, so we got to give them credit. But we're gonna figure out something, and we're trying to trim that down a little bit because we know you guys have things to do. So from all of us here at the Phantom Zone podcast, take care, everybody.
Yep.
Bye.